Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz and Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz and Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello, everyone. Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Celeste Frenette. She is an author, speaker, and soulful business mentor based in Newmarket, Ontario. How are you doing today, Celeste?
I'm great. Thanks. So happy to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here and be part of this community and chat with me for a little while and share a bit about your story and your journey with us all here today.
Of course, my pleasure.
So let's jump in. You worked as a registered nurse and spent time working in the palliative care unit. And from there, you went on to become a naturopathic doctor, had a pretty successful practice, and you left all that behind to become a business coach and intuitive mentor. You are also a published author and inspirational speaker. What made you decide to leave the healthcare world behind?
Through working with patients, I was always so curious to find out what the true cause of what they were experiencing was. And of course, everything is so layered and there's so many different dynamics and aspects to look at when it comes to health. But the part that I was most drawn to was to look at what was going on in someone's life in terms of their own alignment, their own fulfillment, their own sense of following their dreams, and how that connected to the symptoms they were having, and how, as a naturopath especially, I noticed that when people started to really align their life with their dreams and their truest desires, symptoms that they had been struggling with for years would begin to start to resolve.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
It was fascinating.
How was the transition for you out of the healthcare world and into coaching and being a mentor? Was that a difficult one for you, or was it pretty smooth?
So when I had the inkling that I wanted to do this, I started to gradually transition because, of course, my business is how I put food on the table and support my family.
Yeah,
too.
Of course.
So it was December of 2014 that I felt like I'm really doing this. This is really what I want to do moving forward. And that might mean letting go of my naturopathic practice, but let's just try it. So I started to put myself out there in that way and started to put out the messages and the stories on social media that I really wanted to share. And I started getting clients and I was able to do coaching and mentorship. And after about 3 months, I found that far surpassed my naturopathic income, but it was bigger than that because it far surpassed my level of fulfillment and my level of joy that I was getting, because it was just a different type of work, more meant for me.
Now, how long were you working in the healthcare field before you made the switch?
23 years.
Wow, that's a long time. A lot of years to log and then just move on. But I guess, if something's not lighting you up or not fulfilling you in a way that you need, then you have to move on and try something else, right?
Yeah, 100%. And it was all stepping stones. Like, I could not be doing the work I'm doing today without having had the depth of experiences that I had in those other areas. So I think it's just a natural evolution.
Right. So where did the inspiration come from for you to become a coach and mentor? You were working in the healthcare field. So where did that all come from? Where did that spring up from?
I was the unusual kind of nurse who would like to spend a lot of time with my patients as much as I could. Rather than sitting in the nursing station charting, I would take my chart into the room of the loneliest patient. I'd sit by their bedside just to keep them company. And in that came a lot of storytelling of me listening to people's stories. And I always felt that I gained such insight into who somebody was and how they came to be where they were at and came to struggle with what they were struggling with. And so I enjoyed that aspect when I moved into naturopathic medicine, because it was no longer, you've got 15 minutes per patient. Now I could spend an hour, an hour and a half with somebody really listening. And so now I'm forgetting your question.
Where did the inspiration come from to become a coach?
Thank you. So in 2009, I was a naturopathic doctor, but I also took my coaching certification. And so I was able the whole time I was working as a naturopath to ask a couple of extra questions that helped give me extra insight and extra depth, maybe to understanding what work I could do in conjunction with the natural health and the supplements and the acupuncture to help somebody on a deeper level soul-wise. Mm-hmm. And that inspired me. The results that I got with the clients I worked with inspired me. And more I felt like I'm doing all of these things and I can offer all of these things, but it's just this one small section that actually leaves me feeling like I'm flying after a session. And I thought, what if I did this all the time? And so it was 2012, after my son was born, that I decided, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do all the things that aren't what is my zone of genius and what I really love anymore. I'm going to claim it and say that I'm stepping into this. And so I sent out a letter to all of my patients saying, this is the way that it most lights me up to practice. And if this fits with you, I'd love to see you. And if this doesn't fit with you and you're looking for a more medical naturopathic model, I'm happy to refer you to somebody that I think would be a great fit for you. And so I did that knowing I could lose people. Yeah. And what ended up happening is that I gained people and it was really remarkable because people appreciated that different perspective and that depth of work. So that inspired me to feel the confidence to continue to weave that in through my practice and then eventually to transition to doing that exclusively.
That's awesome. So your career has been, from what you've told me, just a natural progression. I mean, you started out as an RN, you left that behind to go on to something better, a naturopathic doctor. You weaved in your coaching into your naturopathic medicine practice, and then eventually transitioned completely out of the naturopathic medicine and into coaching. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's been an adventure.
Have you ever looked back since you transitioned? Do you miss be practicing naturopathic medicine or an RN?
I will say that I'm so grateful I have the naturopathic training and even the nursing training, because in my daily life, it helps me, it helps my family, it helps my friends, but I don't miss being a naturopath. What I do miss is being in that palliative care setting with somebody who's dying, sitting at their bedside. That was the most sacred part of my life, just the memories of that. And so for years, I volunteered teaching hospice workers because it gave me that connection to it still.
Oh, okay. So now, how long have you been a coach and mentor full-time?
Full-time only since 2014. Okay. So it's been
6 years.
6 years. Yeah.
Awesome. You're past that 5-year mark. That's great. What is it for you personally that lights you up, that you love the most about being a coach and mentor?
I love seeing the spark return to somebody's eyes. When they've been stuck going through the motions, doing what they think they have to do, suppressing parts of themselves that they think, well, I can't make money with that, or that's not realistic. And then seeing them step into their power enough to own that this is their genius for a reason, and then helping them to integrate that into their life, whether it be personally or through them integrating it work-wise, and seeing that the world is ready to meet them there. And then the spark that comes from that, right? Of feeling like I can do what I love, be of service, and support myself.
Awesome. Can you walk us through your process of working with clients from the initial point of contact to bringing them on board as a client? Just give us a brief overview how your system works.
Absolutely. So it used to be that I did a lot of posts on social media to connect with potential clients, and a lot of sharing, a lot of vulnerability on my part, sharing my stories, sharing things like that. And people would find me that way. Now I don't advertise for clients anymore. Clients find me because I've been around for a little while. And so usually it's people reaching out to me, and then we hop on a call together to explore what it is that they really want and see if it's a fit both ways, if they're ready to take the steps, which is really important to me. I think, we always think that it's important to find the right person for us to work with, but we don't necessarily always realize as business owners that it's also really important for us to have the right clients for us, not
For
just
sure.
every client, right?
Yeah.
So a phone call with them to explore what it is that they really want and how ready they are at this moment in time to move forward with that, and ask some questions to just get a sense of if we can both feel that this is the right next step. And then they get the contract and we start our work together, whether it's 3 months or 6 months, or whether they sign up for one of the group programs, if that's a better fit.
Okay. What's the name of your coaching business?
Radical Nourishment.
Radical Nourishment. I like it. The tie-in with the naturopathic medicine type stuff. And
that's right.
Awesome. Now, you're also a published author. You've written many articles, including for the Elephant Journal, the Huffington Post. Have you always loved writing? Has writing always been a part of your life and something you love doing?
Always. Since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I wrote my first book with my best friend when we were in grade 2. And that's when the spark was there, right? And I realized this is what I want to do. And then I went through many years of forgetting that.
Mm-hmm.
Still writing. Even when I was a palliative care nurse, I remember when patients would die, I would come home and I would write poetry and I would write stories and I would express myself that way. So it's always been a very healing medium for me.
Awesome. So you've also written your very first book, Return to Soul, which is being released in 2022. Can you give us a brief overview of what the book's about?
Yes, it is about coming back to the truth of who you are, remembering all those things that you forgot because you did what the next logical step was, or what other people told you you'd be good at, or what you thought made the most sense. And at some point you abandoned yourself. And so coming back to that remembering.
Return to Soul, very appropriate name too.
Thank you.
So what for you personally inspired you to write this book, to sit down and write this book?
My own remembering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just, you teach what you mostly need to learn. So
right.
You also, as I was going through it, the vulnerable, real stories of living through the experience were so fresh. And so I wrote through it as I went through it, and then sat on it for quite a while. And then was able to take it and give it fresh eyes from me now, being further away from that experience, to say, okay, now how can I package this in a way that can support people who are right in it?
So you said you left it for a while. So what sparked your inspiration to pick it back up again and continue with it?
I think I left it because I lacked the confidence. And something inside of me started stirring when my daughter was born. And this new mantra came forward that reminded me that it was more important to have the courage than the confidence. And that there are people right now who are suffering and stuck and could really use something like this to uplift them. There's so many voices out there, but there are certain people who will only ever hear it through our voice. And so there's that knowing inside of me encouraged me to say, okay, just have the courage, even if you don't have the confidence yet.
So you putting the book down, was that because of the fact that you were dealing with exactly what you were writing about, in terms of having people telling you what they think you should be doing, and like referring to maybe your tenure as a naturopathic doctor? Are you crazy giving that up for wanting to become a coach? And was it that kind of thing for you?
I mean, I'm certain that's a part of it in the background. Honestly, what it was, when the day I put it down, I had found out about a writing competition, and I was so excited about it because my manuscript was done. I had gone through my editor with 3 drafts of it. It was ready. Found out about a writing competition, and one person would get chosen to have their book published. And I thought, why not? I have a chance. And if not, I would have sent it to other agents and publishers and things. But I thought, why not try? And I ran downstairs and I told my husband, and he laughed and he said, why would they choose you?
Oh.
And it was such a hit to my self-esteem.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And the part of the reason why, not just because he was the person closest to me, but also because that was the doubt I already had inside.
Yeah.
So it touched on the wound, and I thought, I'm not going to do this. And I tucked it away because I didn't have the courage to stand up for my own intuition that was speaking to me saying, keep going. And
wow.
Yeah,
That's a horrible hit to take.
it was really hard for me emotionally to move through that and to reconcile it and to rebuild my self-confidence and self-esteem in a way that didn't hang on the beliefs or thoughts of anybody else.
So how long did you end up putting the book down for in total?
3 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that was the catalyst moment.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you found it within you to go back and pick it up and finish it. That's great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How long did it take you then in total, like with the break? And actually, let's leave the break out of it. Break aside, how long did it take you to write that book?
I think that it took me about 9 months.
Wow, that's it?
Yeah, it just, I woke up every morning. I was in that place in my life where I was feeling really on fire. And I woke up every morning at 4:30 and I did my morning practice and I did my meditation and visualizations and all of that. And then I sat down in the quiet of the morning before my child was awake and before my husband was awake. And I just asked the divine to flow through me and wrote. And then when I had everything poured out of me, that's when I brought it to an editor and said, okay, help.
It just kind of flowed out of you, like fell out of you.
Yes.
Now, in your coaching business, what would you say is one of the biggest pain points that you've been dealing with lately?
For me, it is navigating away from being what I call the Walmart or Target of coaching, where you can help everybody with everything. And in coaching even, it had gotten to the point before my daughter where I had a mastermind that was amazing with so many incredible souls inside of that mastermind. And it was a membership and I would coach them on everything business related every month, support them with anything. And it just became a bit too diluted for me in terms of my own zone of true genius. I was doing a lot of things that I was competent with, that I was great at, but they weren't necessarily what lit me up. So now that my daughter is in daycare and I'm moving back into full-time practice again, it's really looking at refining and aligning so that I'm not doing everything or serving everybody with everything, but I'm really focusing in on my true gifts.
Honing it down to your niche.
Yes.
Okay. What would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
From Brene Brown in her book, where she talks about only taking advice from people who are doing what you want to do and are successful at what you want to do.
I love it. I've heard that name so many times lately. Amazing. And I've heard that piece of advice quite a bit too, actually.
Yeah.
What would you say was a turning point in your life and how did that affect you?
Turning point was the birth of my children, especially the birth of my daughter, because it really summoned me to understand that my children aren't going to do what I say or, follow the path or the ideas that I have for them. But the one thing that they will hopefully carry with them forever is seeing me live out the messages that I feel are so important in this world, like being true to yourself and following your soul and listening to what you really love. And so that was the catalyst for me to say, I'm refining this even more. They're not going to see me settle. They're not going to see me tolerate less than what I deserve in terms of the relationships that I have in my life. And they're also never going to see me give up on myself or give up on my dreams.
It's important, I think, to instill and impart all of these things, all of these bits of wisdom and these values on our children when they're from a very young age. That way it just kind of becomes ingrained into their DNA and they don't know any different, that this is how you need to be in life and that you can accomplish anything you want in life. And I mean, a lot of parents impart what they wish they did in their lives or what they want for their kids, but you can't do that. You have to just let them walk their own path. But if you give them the tools and impart these little bits of wisdom on them and instill it in their put it into their values, ingrain it into their heads, it'll become second nature to them.
Yeah.
It's so important that we start that stuff from a very young age with our kids.
I agree.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
I would say my determination.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the type of person who says, this is too hard, I guess I'll give up.
Yeah.
When something is challenging, I think this is hard. How can I figure it out? And sometimes that means staying up all night to try and figure a computer glitch out. And other times it means asking for help. Other times it means outsourcing, but definitely the ability to persevere and never see anything as an obstacle that means I can't reach my dreams.
See, I think that's another problem we have as human beings too, is we're scared to ask for help because we don't want to be rejected or we don't want to bother people. And I think that, at least I've found anyways in my journey, that all you have to do is open your mouth and ask. And honestly, what's the worst that could happen? They say, no, sorry, I can't help you.
Yes.
That's it. But you have to ask. If you don't ask, you'll never know.
Absolutely. Yes.
To date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
A financial goal comes into mind that I set.
Mm-hmm.
But truly, beyond that, I think that my greatest win is really having listened to my soul every step of my business and said yes to that and followed that. And so my work has changed over the years, but the biggest win for me is I'm in alignment with who I am. I'm doing what I love. I'm providing for my family. I'm serving.
Yeah. It's an incredible feeling when you have that. It's like you're winning at everything. When you're doing something you absolutely love to do, you're giving back to help other people become better people, and you're making a living at it, and you love what you do.
Yes.
So many people go through life miserable at their jobs and hating to get up in the morning and go to work, and to be able to find something that you absolutely love doing or that incredibly lights you up, and you're also giving back to other people, is just one of the most incredible feelings in the world.
It is such a gift, and it takes so much courage, and I understand why not everybody does it, because nothing is certain. You really need to have the determination and perseverance to keep moving forward, even when it's seeming hard.
For sure. It does. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of courage, but I think that anybody can accomplish anything they want in life or do anything they want in life. They just have to be willing to put in the work and be persistent and not give up.
Yes, I'm with you. Absolutely.
How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
For me personally, success is alignment. So if I am in integrity with who I am, if I'm not abandoning myself or suppressing myself, then that's success.
What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
When I take the time to tend to my own energy, my own body and soul first, then I feel inspired. So I know a lot of people are in the world wanting to inspire other people, and they feel like that's their purpose and that's their mission. And I felt so clear that my purpose is not to inspire anybody. It's to be inspired. So every day I need to fill myself and tend to myself and care for myself so that I can be inspired. And then that overflows. Exactly.
That's exactly it. If you look after yourself, that's why I think that everything starts with self-love and self-care. Yes. And then it just flows outward from there.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
What's coming to my mind at the moment is that no one else has the power to make your dreams happen or take your dreams away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that other people's ideas, that their thoughts about whether or not you'll be successful, that their ideas of what you should do next, that none of that has any true power in your life unless you hand your power over. So the most important thing I've learned is to hold my power inside of me And before that, I was giving it away everywhere. Somebody, like my husband would say, why would they choose you? And I'd be like, you're right. I'm putting my book away for 3 years because I think that's true. And when I learned that, and when I rooted into it, that my power was inside of me, everything began to change.
Amazing. It's not an easy lesson to learn, though.
It's not.
It takes a lot of self-work. You have to do the work on yourself, for sure.
Yes.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Kind.
Okay. What would you say is your personal motto?
Courage before confidence.
Love it. What are you most proud of?
Persevering.
What makes you smile?
My children.
What's the first thing you notice about a person?
Their eyes.
What is one thing that you've always wanted to do in life but never have?
Swim with sea turtles in Maui.
That sounds awesome.
Very specific.
If you came with a warning label, what would yours say?
Ooh. Oh, let me think about that for a while. May cause you to believe in yourself.
I love it. That's awesome. That's a great warning. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
That they are enough.
Very simple, yet a very hard lesson to learn. But I love it. Money or fame?
I've thought about this, and it's money, because with money, I can help people. I can give to the Indigenous communities. I can make a difference in people's life. Fame doesn't mean a whole lot to me.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
What is the first thing you think of when I say the word future?
Hope.
Love it. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Keep choosing to listen to that voice inside, no matter what the world is saying. Let the voice inside be louder than the noise.
Beautiful. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Being really rooted in who you are, knowing what you love, what lights you up, knowing what your gifts are, and not being afraid to shine and share yourself with the world, feeling rooted in that.
Love it. Lastly, tell me something about yourself that people would be surprised to know or find out.
The people who know me, even the people who know me, or something that nobody would know.
Something that nobody would know. But they'd be surprised to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question.
Okay, let's go. I got one more for you then.
Okay.
And then we'll go back to this. If you were to share your last 30-second speech with the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
I would say, put your hand on your heart and take a deep breath. I would say, feel your feet on the earth. Feel the breath in your lungs. Feel all of creation by your side, and know that every single dream in your heart is your destiny.
Love it. Back to that other question. Tell me something about yourself that people would be surprised to know or find out.
That I have a dream of traveling around the world and world schooling my children.
That's pretty awesome. What an experience that would be.
Yes.
Man, I wish my parents did that. That would be amazing. Amazing. Well, Celeste, thank you so much for agreeing to be here and, again, be part of this community and share a bit of your story and your insights. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today, and I appreciate you. And it's been great having you on the show.
Oh, I appreciate you too, Brad. Thank you so much for this opportunity and for the fantastic questions and the invitation to share this time with you.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest was Celeste Frenette. She is an author, speaker, and soulful business mentor based in Newmarket, Ontario. Thanks, Celeste. I hope you have an amazing afternoon and rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.